Hello and welcome back, everybody. We have Week 15's review and Week 16's preview. We're also going to talk about our overall playoff stuff that we did last week. So, as you can already see on my screen, things have not gone how we thought they would, but we're back again. It's the OG trio. We've got Jared.
Yep.
And Brett.
Hello, I'm the mediator tonight between these two.
Yeah, we're gonna get heated. It's gonna be, well, maybe not.
We'll see.
Um,
We were talking a lot before. We might have our differences sorted out.
Well,
So-
sorry, Clint, you can't
Little-
upload this to your OnlyFans.
Yeah, little disappointment here. Just, backstory. Jared and I were talking about it before we got on here. He said this whole message was typed out by AI because he has been using AI
Wow.
to write his work emails as well. So
For about a month and a half.
Jared has been publicly outed on the Dale Clapper YouTube channel for using AI. So hopefully this doesn't get you in trouble, Jared.
Nobody from this my work watches this. Jared's grammar and punctuation has increased because he's using AI.
Or a worldwide show. So you never know.
Yeah.
So you're saying that we reached a point where now you can use, it was written in AI as an excuse?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yes,
why I'm gonna lose to
You
Jared
mean to
this
cheat
week.
on your wife? It was written on an AI.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That's where he goes immediately.
Yep.
Anyway,
I mean,
I just want to start. Like, this isn't part of the playoffs. I just want to highlight Brett's team again.
What a team!
He's
What a team!
honestly,
and that's with Winston sucking.
and we've kind of talked about this off recording the last couple weeks. But if Brett had actually tried to win some games, he probably would have been in the playoffs. And
Yeah, if
He-
I would have made some moves earlier on.
he
Not gotten rid of
probably
some people.
he would probably be staring at the second round of the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
If he had made some moves.
Yeah.
But
I didn't want it.
he's building. He's charging up that.
That's right.
He's charging up. He's acquiring the Infinity Stones. Is what he's doing.
I even brought Daniels off my taxi squad just to...
Flexing.
Exactly. Before he pulls a CJ Stroud next year.
Regresses
Oof.
dramatically.
He's not the type of quarterback like Stroud is, though. Like, CJ Stroud's doing what pocket passers do. If you don't throw for a lot of touchdowns, your fantasy value plummets. So,
Yeah, For
and
sure.
the moment he lost Diggs, like, it was pretty much
Yeah.
known that the Texans weren't going to throw for as many touchdowns. Anyway,
And they brought Mixon in.
yeah. Well, I think
Feel
if the Texans do, like, there's starting to be rumors already about, like, Garrett Wilson potentially being traded in the offseason if the Jets move on from Rodgers and them just going into a full rebuild. If Garrett Wilson
There's
goes to
the Steelers.
Houston, or Cleveland with Justin Fields, like, get him his college
Cleveland
quarterback.
Justin
Get
Fields.
him his
Get
college
outta here.
quarterback back. That's all I'm saying.
It's
Anyway.
never worked before. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're right. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, terrible
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, it failed experiment, honestly.
it's
I mean, they
Well,
don't
it's-
make playoffs.
funny
But-
because right now CJ's number one receiver was a guy that was on his biggest rival in college.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just wanted to highlight Brett's team and get into a little bit of off-season talk already, but we're gonna start off with the big upset of the week, and we've said before Brett has pulled off upsets of the year in the regular season against Jared and Hunter, but this is actually the upset of the year because it happened in the playoffs. JGF, who nobody expected to get the last playoff spot, actually beat Devin. This had
Number
more.
3 team.
This had more to do with Devin's team sucking. Yes, number 3 team in the standings and number 3 team in scoring. But Baker Mayfield, AJ Brown, Jerome Ford, like
As his second
that's
quarterback.
such a random player that goes off. But George needed all 3 of those big games to pull this off, and Devin almost came back on Monday night, but Darnold
tried.
didn't throw enough. The Bears' offense wasn't good enough to make the Vikings need anything more.
And JJ dropped that ball. That
Jefferson dropped
that
2
was,
touchdowns. There were 2 touchdowns Jefferson dropped.
No, he didn't drop that one. He was just short on the other one, right?
Yeah, he was
dropped
down at the
one,
one.
and then
he was
down at the
he was-
one.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
But that one was like a 20, 30
I
yard
thought there was
pass
one in
that
the
he dropped, too.
Yeah, I thought there was one in the end zone he dropped also. I could be wrong.
No.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
But
That was a
one
12
deep one
point.
was like, yeah, that was a
And-
12-point swing at the very least, and it might have been more than that.
And hey,
Well,
we
then 18 with the Darnold, right?
yeah.
Touchdown to
And
count.
we had talked about this a little bit last week on the show, looking at the starting lineup Devin was rolling out there, and we were all like, "He's benching Hurts," and
Yeah.
wouldn't you know, him benching Hurts literally cost him his season.
Sure did.
That's
Yeah,
like
Thursday
this-
night game was rough.
This is why, as a Browns fan, like early in the season, I wasn't picking against them in pick'ems, because when you have the trust in your team and it works, it just feels good. When you
Yeah.
don't trust your team and it backfires,
Yeah, you get shafted.
it's literally like there's no worse feeling as a sports fan than like picking against your team or against your favorite player and then them actually doing well. And that's exactly what just happened to Devin.
Honestly, looking at it, that Jefferson touchdown catch, if that puts him over 100 yards, he wins. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
about like a 20-some
Mm-hmm.
swing,
Yep.
and that'll put him right up above.
There's so many ways Devin could have and should have won this.
Sure.
It's just it's brutal, honestly. It's the what if game. Man, the crazier part was if he had benched Darnold for Hurts, just that switch, because he was probably starting Purdy.
Yeah.
It was Darnold or Hurts, to be honest, but
he
he
didn't
would
start
have
him
lost.
last week.
He would have lost
But
by
start
like
him this
2.
week.
He would have lost by like 2 points if
Mm-hmm.
he had benched Darnold, which would have probably hurt even more because he would have been like one Jefferson catch
Yeah.
away or one Aaron Jones catch away. So
Yeah, for sure.
George was preseason pick number 9. I checked that before our show today, and he's now in the top 4, and he's just played amazing defense against the number 3 scoring team in the league, and
Playing with house money right now.
his reward is going up against the 1 seed who started the year 11-0, and is the number 2 scoring team in the league. So good luck. Oh, and by the way, he has both Burrow and Lamar this coming week, but we'll get into that more a little bit later.
Yep,
We're
for
gonna
sure.
jump over to the other matchup. Myself and Brett on the money. Good job, Brett. Look at us. Shout out Josh Allen. He's coming up big when it matters most. Week 14 to make a statement. Honestly, the last month. 11, 13, 14, 15 now. I need another one.
Wait till they bench him next week.
Someone sounds salty.
Actually, you'll be out after this week, so
What? Why?
after this week you're gonna get knocked out.
Maybe. You could be right, but
Then you could trade him to my team for the 1 week start again.
He'll trade him back
um,
after the week.
fun fact: before the season, I offered Clint. Before Jared traded for Mahomes, I offered Clint Josh Allen for Mahomes 1-for-1, and he wanted like a 2nd-round pick on top, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I just want Mahomes. Like, that was it. Josh Allen's a better fantasy player, and so, I kept Allen, and thank goodness, because I wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah, that'll be a good matchup. Is like, did you make the mistake? Will Mahomes outscore Allen this week?
You want to make a
I would
1-week
be
trade?
surprised. I'd be
1-week
so
trade
surprised.
for the playoffs?
Yeah.
Anyway, actually talking about this matchup, Josh didn't have a running back too. Ken Walker got hurt. Jalen Waddle also got hurt. One of many wide receivers this week that didn't score a point that were in starting lineups. So yeah, Josh's team just didn't have the depth in this matchup. And nobody on my team had a bad game. Like, Stroud underperformed, Bijan a little bit underperformed what I had hoped. But my whole lineup was good, and
Yeah.
Allen was great. So my team the last couple weeks has actually shown what it can be whenever it's at its full power. Kind of like Brett's.
Yeah, you better watch out next year.
2026 coming in hot.
That's the one.
Anyway, with all this the review being done, Jared, what happened on the injuries, doctor?
Yeah, well, the most heartbreaking one, even though I know I've cheered in the past for it, is good old Nick Chubb.
Speaking of cheering for it, he tried to take out Saquon's knee this week too.
No, he didn't.
Anyway,
Fake
You gotta tackle those guys, though.
Yeah. Anyways, so obviously Nick Chubb blew out his knee last year by pure happenstance, had nothing to do with anyone else. And then non-contact injury, honestly.
okay,
This
we're
year-
not gonna spew misinformation on this show. I can't let you do that. His foot was planted in the ground, and Minka came in like a freight train and put his helmet on his kneecap.
This year he didn't return until week 7. And he had some productive games. He had 3 touchdowns.
No. He had one productive game against Pittsburgh when he got in the end zone twice. That was it. That was the end
The
of his
snow
productive games.
Yeah. And then, sadly, of course, this week against KC, he broke. I didn't see this play. Was it on a play? I
don't know. No one knew what was going on. So he was just like off the field for a long amount of time, and then like after the game it came out, he had a broken foot, and everyone was like, "Oh, he was hurt."
Yeah. Anyways, he broke his foot, which is a season-ending injury. I don't think it was like so severe that he would be done. It's just that
He's
with the
old.
knee,
Yeah.
he's 28.
His
with
injury
the
history is
foot,
bad.
that's the biggest thing. I don't think this foot, other than just being another injury to add to his,
Yeah.
his list.
Nothing with the foot would be career altering. The only thing is he's blown. I think he has 3 torn ACLs. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just 2, but I know he had one in college, and I think it was the same knee as the one he tore last year. And both of them were like ACL, MCL, and is it PCL? I think. Anyway.
Pretty brutal injury, though. So that was just the first one. I don't know if fantasy relevance. I know some people were hoping for him to be like the late playoff push. He obviously won't be that because of that. Cecile McCormick got injured as well, which I didn't know about this guy, I'll be honest, until like last week where we were watching.
Well, he's only been playing since week 12. So
Yeah. But he just got placed on IR after suffering an ankle injury in Monday night's game against the Falcons. Yeah, sad. No playoff run for Amir either. I think it's Amir Abdullah. That's who everyone's going to be trying to pick up this week.
Abdullah Oblongata.
What?
But yeah, Alvin Kamara as well injured, which is sad. I mean, he's probably on a lot of playoff rosters, I guess. He's number 2 RB on the year, which is kind of crazy to think of. I know he's been good this year, but I didn't think he was number 2.
Week 2 is why he's the number 2 RB on the year.
But then he's had a couple of 25s, 20.
Yeah, I mean, look at his receiving. He matches the insane running, too.
Yeah,
He's had
for
4+ catches in every game since week 4.
Yeah. But yeah, he's questionable for this game, in week 16. Patrick Mahomes had a high ankle sprain. He did practice in full today.
And
obviously,
Jared, what you
hope
doing?
that
What you doing?
Oh, he's starting. I mean, unless he's not playing.
There's no way he doesn't play through it.
Yeah.
It's Patrick Mahomes.
And he'll probably have the flu game and have his best game of the year, and they'll talk about how he's the greatest thing since.
I hope not.
You would hope. So yeah, practice today, which is always good. Patrick Mahomes, he'll be protected by the refs anyways. David Montgomery, this one obviously hurts for a lot of those playoff teams. I would imagine he's on a lot of playoff rosters. Tore his MCL, he's out for the season.
Wait,
The
who
Lions
has
had a
Montgomery?
brutal.
I think, right?
Yeah, Lions honestly had a brutal stretch here.
Their injuries on defense are bad. Now Montgomery's gone. It's getting bad.
I'm actually to the point where I think I'm not picking them to make the Super Bowl anymore.
Yeah. You got to be peaking at the right time, and it doesn't look like they are.
Yeah, a great team, great potential. I just don't know that with the injuries. Like I think and obviously this might be a little biased, but I think the Eagles are the best team out of the NFC.
Probably.
But
right now, yeah.
I think they're better than the Vikings. I think they're better than the Lions. So obviously we'll see though. Tony Pollard sprained his ankle. He is questionable for Week 16 as well. Um, I thought he was out this game because I thought I saw people picking up his backup.
Yeah, he got injured in the
Pollard
game.
got injured early in the game, and
Tajay Spears came in.
Tajay
He had
Spears
2
came in and had
touchdowns,
2
didn't he?
touchdowns, yes.
Okay,
Including
so
one
that's
where
why.
he floated on air.
Yeah,
The Bengals were holding him up like they were sacrificing him.
yeah. So obviously that's big. If you need a running back picked up, I don't think Spears is probably on every roster. So definitely probably pick upable in some leagues. Yeah, pick upable. Obviously he is because they did pick him up. But yeah, and then to finish it out, Zach Ertz, the old man himself, with his 15th concussion. Actually, we don't know the fact. I have no clue if he's had 15 concussions.
There's no chance he's had 15 because if he had
Pretty
15,
sure he'd be dead.
if he had 15 concussions,
Here,
he
watch
would
this.
not be playing in the NFL.
Watch this. This bucket. He is 34 years old.
Okay.
Look it up. I don't know if he is.
What?
What is happening? Oh! On the money. He was wrong about the 15 concussions, but he redeems himself. Anyway,
Yeah, I know those stats.
there is some
Anyways.
more NFL news going into Week 16, but before Brett tells you about that, we have a trade.
Collusion.
Kyle Pitts, welcome to the bench. Tyrone Tracy, I don't love his long-term outlook because he's a member of the New York Giants. And
Feel that.
they've been one of the worst-run organizations in the league for the last 10 years. And with Penix starting, I feel like Pitts' value can't get any lower. And
That's what I've been thinking for the last 2 years I've rostered him.
And we've seen
Hell.
athletic tight ends do this before, where they come out of college, they're super athletic, they don't produce, and then they either go to a new team or their situation changes, and they start to like rise in value. Look at Evan Ingram, look at David Njoku. So we'll see.
I'm
I
pretty
think-
low on running backs,
Yeah,
so seeing a rookie running back that has done decent.
hit the inbox.
Yeah.
He's only had 3 concussions. Did you know there's an app?
I searched it on Google and it didn't come up.
It's called Draft Sharks, and you can look up injury history for every player in the NFL.
That's
I
We
thought it
love
was like
information.
CTERU or RS.
CTESPN is actually where he found that.
CTESPN.
Who's your boy who has all the concussions?
Chris Olave.
Chris.
Sad. I actually, Brett, when I was cooking up some trade offers for you, I wanted to throw him in there. A couple different trades. I didn't because it would physically cause me pain to trade him away.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
I'd probably rather trade Puka Nacua than Chris Olave. Like, that's
Wow.
a different value. Like, I wouldn't trade them for the same level, but...
He's only had 5.
Only 5
2022.
concussions.
2023, 2024, 2024.
Yikes. He needs to do what Tua did and just go get some jujitsu done so he can take a hit better. But Brett, speaking of taking a hit better, I don't know how this has anything to do with that, but we got some quarterback updates going into Week 16. Save the best for last.
Yeah, so I would say that probably there's only really one that's actually fantasy relevant.
Mhm.
If you have Kirko, he's going to
No, you
put up a goose egg this week for you. We got Michael Penix starting. Falcons are still relevant, so it's kind of a weird move. They're kind of going away from
He's been
Kirko.
so
But if you've looked at the last few games, he has, probably at least double the interceptions and his touchdowns the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're giving the young gun a shot. So
Okay, this is a real stat. This is part of the reason why they're going to Penix. They have 3 completions outside the tackle box this season. Almost everything they've done has been over the middle.
I wish we could do that. The Steelers can't do anything over the middle.
Yeah, we can only do down the sides.
The inverse of the Steelers.
Well, the issue with that is though this team is built the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Like, or not the exact opposite, but like this team would thrive over the deep ball
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
because
down the sides.
yeah, like Mooney,
London.
London,
Yeah.
and if you let Pitts operate in the middle of the field, he'd be good. But
Yeah.
they've just had to use everybody in the middle, which makes their offense, not work well. So we're gonna see what the work he has this week against the pretty mediocre to lower end pass defense in the Giants. But there's more than that. We got more.
Yeah, but also to be fair with the Penix thing, when draft was started, like everyone's rookie drafts, everyone was like, well, if we're drafting him, we probably won't see him for like 3 years.
For sure.
So, to be honest, this is pretty good for those people that did draft him.
Brett, we had
if
him on
he
our
comes
team.
out
We just
throwing.
branded.
Yeah, but so that's interesting too. Next we got a team that is definitely not contending.
And-
The Browns.
This is definitely fantasy
Ours-
relevant. You said it wasn't, but it definitely is. Partially because of the matchup this week, and also because of what the other guy had been doing.
Yeah, maybe. So Dorian Thompson Robinson, DTR, starting over Jameis this week because Jameis looked horrendous.
I mean,
Last
DTR
week.
came in and threw a pick, so
Okay, here's the thing
Yeah.
with DTR. He's never looked good. He has thrown a lot more picks than Winston, but something that is like I think it's relatively minor, but it could actually mean a lot more to the actual like NFL circles and people that pay attention to the actual football instead of fantasy. He's never had like a full week to prepare as the starter. He's always been like a last minute switch. Like he's
yeah.
never gotten all the first team reps in a week. So I think going to him early in the week where it's like, this is your week, you have, 4 games to prove you can do something for this team that has no future quarterback on the roster. Like, when your future quarterback is playing for a division rival, you got to see what you got.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if they're just trying to tank, it's becoming the tank off.
Travis Hunter, Justin Fields, 2025.
I thought you said GT.
Either one is fine. If we lose on Hunter, we want GT,
Yeah, okay.
Let Chubb walk.
We can't. So the other
God, that's a
quarterback
terrible
being
joke.
benched-
This is the most relevant news to our specific show because of a bet.
Yeah, so this is on a bet. So right now, the word is that the Titans are benching Will Levis for Mason Rudolph. And this isn't based on an injury, this is just a straight bench. And I don't know if anyone remembers way back at the beginning of the year, Dale and I made a bet that Will Levis would start every game this year unless he was injured. And if he did that, Dale would drink coffee with mayonnaise, but if he was ever benched,
For Mason Rudolph.
non-injury related, then I would do that. So, praying that Sunday comes and they've changed their mind.
And they just wake up Sunday morning like, I have a feeling that we're going to reach and start Levis today.
I hope so.
Hey, Will, get back in there. This is your team.
So we gotta be here for the 1:00 game so we can see.
So
drink
wait,
coffee
Brett,
with mayonnaise.
we have to amend this
Oh.
now. If like Mason Rudolph gets hurt late in the week or something and they go back to Levis, does that count? Because they declared Rudolph as the starter already.
The bet was if he starts the game.
I think he has to start the game.
So no. I'm saying if Rudolph gets hurt, that he can't play.
Yeah, I'm saying if Will
I think
Levis
the bet
starts
should
the
be
game.
voided at that point.
No.
They have named Rudolph the starter. It's the same thing inverse.
Naming someone the starter and actually starting the football game is two different things.
Okay, that's fair. I just wanted to
So-
get that out there now to avoid some.
I don't think
crazy
it's going to
scenario.
matter. I
No,
think Rudolph will probably be up, but
But
not looking forward to that.
and this is even better for me because I had started to like get worried about this. Like, is this gonna happen? Are they gonna bench him at all?
It doesn't make sense.
I forget if it was on the show last week or if it was like off the recording last week or if it was like Sunday before the games, but you had literally said to me in the last week, get ready for the mayonnaise. in the coffee because they were going up against the Bengals, who haven't been able to stop anybody this season, except for Will Levis.
I know. If he just coasts through that game, gets like a 15, 18 fantasy point week, he's not getting benched the rest of the year. But I still don't understand why he's getting benched now. They're not fantasy relevant. Why would you give the ball to an old guy and not give this guy reps? You're not sitting him to protect his arm because he's your future, because he sucks ass.
He threw 3 picks and fumbled against the worst defense in the league. They didn't have a choice. Like, there's too many jobs on the line every week for NFL franchises for them to actually put this guy out there after he turned the ball over 4 times against one of the worst teams in the league on defense. But the first 4 weeks Will Levis had of the season will never be forgotten. Those 4 weeks of memes at the beginning of the year where he did something extremely stupid, we'll always have those Will Levis memes. Anyway, that was a long time to get through the review section and the NFL news, but we've had some fun. More fun on this show, I'd say, than any other one this season.
Getting real.
So far. All right. Now that's the good stuff. We're gonna talk about Hunter versus JGF first. Now, I think the big favorite is Hunter, but there's a lot of stuff going on with Hunter's team. We talked about it a little bit in our playoff preview last week when we projected me to be playing Hunter this week with the Burrow and Lamar matchup specifically. But also, Kamara's dealing with an injury right now. ETN is on a terrible offense and has been very bad this season. Tyreek Hill is hurt, has been all season. And also...
He also posted on X
Yep.
saying that he thinks it's time to go to another team.
He said it's time for me to go coach.
Yeah, that's
referring to Michael Vick's getting a head coaching job at the college level. But obviously that doesn't mean anything now, but for him to be like tweeting that in the season is like, what? You guys are still hunting for the playoffs. Why are you not focused on football? He should be focused on taking care of his kids too. So anyway, Sleeper says this is Hunter's game to lose by a large margin. Now, we've got White Vic back in the lineup in a winner-go-home week for JGF. And that can only mean one thing. And that one thing, I'm picking the upset. I think JGF goes from dispersal draft to semifinal. To championship week. He's already made it to the semifinals. Jared?
Crazy. Yeah, I continued my picks of the very boring matchups of the top 2 seeded teams winning, and that continues here in this matchup as well. I think Hunter will bring it home. I think Lamar will do better against the Steelers than he has ever done. He'll have over 20 points.
Oh. Has he ever done that? 9. Didn't play. 18 didn't play. I forgot all those years Lamar missed half the season. Man, it's been a while. He's been staying healthy recently. Good for him. So he has never done that. He's never scored 20 against the Steelers compared to these other numbers he's put up.
Yeah.
Isn't he like 1 for 1 and whatever?
Yeah. He's only ever beaten them once, and it was with Duck Hodges, right? Duck Hodges was the starter when Lamar beat the Steelers, I think.
Maybe.
There are lots of games he didn't play against us. Because they're later season games, rather he sat or he got injured because there was lots of seasons, like you said.
Or just didn't want to play.
Yeah, he was just scared of the Steelers.
But anyways, with that being said, yeah, I think he'll have more than 20 points. I don't know that he's going to have a Lamar-type game, but...
The Ravens should start Aaron Bailey.
Might consider it.
I don't know who this is. He looks like someone's dad, bro. Anyway.
Like Derrick Henry without dreads.
But I think Hunter will have this game.
Yeah, and I'm picking it off with Dale's. I think JGF pulls an upset this week.
Oh my goodness. Hunter has had some disappointing weeks recently too.
Yes.
Like his 11 and
Even
0,
last week.
his 11 and 0, he's by far the best team in the league, scoring like 200 a week on average, roughly. Like maybe not every week.
He's slotting in Ford this week as the starting running back now that Chubb's out against
True.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So,
And you know, he just lost Sincere McCormick though, so there's that. But like with Hunter, the last like 4 weeks, his team's had some really bad performances. In fact, this week was another one. 139. He would have only beat Devin.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious to think about. But anyway, I think he did bench some players last week, though. I think if he would have actually started a team, it would have been better. But two of us picking the upset. Is it really an upset at that point? I don't know. But this is the big one. The matchup that's almost a year in the making. Jared beat me in the championship last year. Where last season I had 3 losses. 2 of the 3 were to Jared, and you know,
got your number.
he has got my number. I'm 1-4 versus Jared all time in this league. Hope to make that 2-4 after this week, and personally I think I will. Josh Allen's been great. I think Bijan's gonna do great. Honestly, I could see Bijan getting 8 receptions in this game with a rookie quarterback. Now, they might come out slinging a little bit more, so it may be worse for him in the passing game. Bucky, or should I say Buckeye? Buckeye has been great. He will now be referred as Buckeye every time I talk about him on this show. Buckeye's been amazing. Puka, JSN. By the way, wide receiver 6 on the year still. My guy. But yeah, I'm picking myself in this matchup. I think I kind of have to. I want that chip.
You really would want it if you had never won anything in your life.
Dang. All right, you two.
He wins 1 championship, and this is how he talks.
So let's
Hey,
say
one more than you.
The power goes right to your head.
Yeah, he has 1 more than me for about 2 weeks.
And then
Yeah,
I'll
then you have 2.
2 more than you. Yeah,
If I lose this week, I'm cheering for whoever wins the other matchup. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know why you do that.
I don't want Jared to go back to back. I'll never hear the end of it. I'm gonna move back to Pennsylvania if that happens.
And you'll have to make an AI message.
I'm gonna be like a Chiefs fan out here with the 3-peat talk.
Anyway, let's hear some other thoughts on this matchup. Jared?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna win this. It's not even gonna be close. It's gonna be by 50.
Honestly,
I know
you're
that-
right. I should order you a pizza to congratulate you on the win.
Oh, here you go. You're already starting it.
That would be funny. Just ship a pizza.
The
I think you
clapper.
can order it ahead of time.
Oh,
Ship
you
it
know
to
what?
my
You're coming
house.
over Friday night. I'll get you a pizza on Friday night. What do you want?
Clapper jinx. Don't fall for
Yeah.
it, Jared.
You should send me a pizza on Monday night when the games end, officially. It deliver at like 11 o'clock at night.
What?
And it with just a note that says, "Congratulations on your fantasy football championship."
Written in pepperoni.
That's not a championship yet, though. This is the semifinal.
Yeah, but I'm
Anyway,
winning.
okay, I'll let you
regardless.
finish. Talk about the matchup, buddy.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is gonna outscore Josh Allen
Quit jerking off.
by 15 points.
Okay, Chris Collins.
I think
he's got Mahomes in his mouth right now.
I think that every player on my team will score more than every player on your team
Wait. What?
by a margin of 0.5.
Nice.
What?
So what I'm saying,
okay.
my team
Line up to
will
line
beat
up.
yours
So
by
QB
50.
to QB, running back to
like
running
QB
back.
to QB,
Gotcha,
everything
okay.
across the board, I'll outscore you by at least half a point in every category.
Half a point.
Yeah.
There's no way that'll be true. You have Pat Frymuth and I have Trey McBride, bro. Come on.
He's like, there's no way that will be true. If that's true,
Fast forward to yeah.
Pat Frymuth hasn't outscored McBride in more than like 1 game all year, and McBride doesn't have a touchdown. That changes this week. We're not doing bold predictions, but that's a guarantee. McBride touchdown.
you want to bet a pizza on it?
Dude, I will bet.
I'll buy you a pizza if you get the touchdown.
See, but that's boring. Like, I don't want a pizza. What could we? What's a larger scale, but not like super large scale? Like, it has to be something creative. How about this? Let's bet if. So you're saying he won't get a touchdown, correct? Just to clear this up.
Yes.
If McBride gets a touchdown, you have to wear the Browns jersey to church. My Browns jersey to church.
I can't wear jerseys at church. I go to a Presbyterian church.
Okay, wait. Where in public could you actually wear the jersey? That would be like an event, like in public.
An event?
Or
I mean,
like.
I'm going over to my in-laws' house for Christmas
Wow,
dinner.
doesn't-
There'll be like
doesn't
40 people there.
You have to wear it at
40
Christmas time,
people?
okay?
Okay, that'll count. I'll give you my Browns jersey for that. The best part to me is that it's a medium, so it'll be very tight.
like-
You won't be eating a lot.
My Denzel Ward jersey might be ruined after it, but.
Stretch it out a little bit.
And if he doesn't get a touchdown, I will wear a Steelers jersey to Disney on Sunday. One of
As
your
long as
Steelers.
it-
I will wear my
Justin
Justin.
Fields.
It's what?
It can't be a Justin Fields jersey.
Do you have any mediums at least? Or do
No,
I
Hey, you have to wear his SWAT jersey.
No.
No. You have to wear the Juju jersey. Even
Ew.
more.
Oh, there you go.
And you have to sing Corvette, Corvette. And
You can't add stipulations to this. Okay, well, I'll handshake on that. I'll wear the Juju Smith jersey to Disney, and you'll wear the Denzel Ward one to your family Christmas.
Oh my god.
we virtually
okay,
shook on
anyways,
it.
move on. We're running along here.
Good. Brett, since you're the mediator, in this, let's
Yeah.
hear your unbiased thoughts on this matchup. Talk us through everything.
Oh, I kind of just was convinced by the AI message that Jared sent earlier. But I don't know. To be honest, looking at the matchups and who is all playing for both your teams, I'd say Dale's players individually have better matchups, like team-wise, like Buffalo versus New England, Atlanta versus the Giants, Tampa Bay versus Dallas. But Mahomes could pop off. Chase could have another Chase game. Amon St. Brown last week tore up almost 50 points. I think if the Steelers want any chance against Baltimore, they got to involve Freiermuth, so there's good with that. Tua's not playing in the cold this week, so he should have a pretty good shot. As long as they don't save Jonnu for overtime.
They are playing the San Francisco 49ers, who have been hot on defense.
Yeah,
But the Dolphins love the hot. It's better than playing a cold defense, I think.
they do love hot. So, yeah, so I got Jared winning this one.
Ooh, baby.
Dang. Switching his prediction from last week, too, and I have countered Jared's AI message with one of my own. So now what do you think, Brett, after reading that message by Grok?
Grok?
I don't even know what this is. This is so generic.
What is that?
It's so bad. Oh my
Bolstered your
god.
roster At the perfect time for the playoffs.
Okay, anyway, yeah, wild stuff. It's gonna be a great week. Unfortunately, this is the first week all season actually that I won't be around to watch football on Sunday,
Sadness.
at all, because I'm actually going to Disney World with my cousins and aunt. So Jared and I won't be able to trash talk. But Monday night, we will 100% be watching that football game together. That will.
You guys actually have people playing Monday night?
So Monday night,
You don't.
I have Jacobs playing.
it
Oh,
will
God.
probably come down to Josh Jacobs with like maybe a 20-point margin or something like that, where Jared might need like 20.
Or you
And-
can
A
just
lot of my
bench him.
players at this point play
Is it way
Saturday.
ahead?
We're gonna have a very good idea of what this game looks like Saturday.
Well, that's true on your side, but almost all of my team plays Sunday at 1 o'clock. So I won't get to see any of my players. I won't get to see Trey McBride score his touchdown, which By the way, I can't believe we just made a Browns Steelers bet on Trey McBride, a player in the NFC. Oh. It's exciting.
Cool.
This is the kind of week that we live for, though. Like, the stakes are highest in the playoffs, so it's always fun to get a matchup like this where,
Some might say that playoffs are the only relevant games. Regular season doesn't matter.
That's true. Especially whenever it's against your rival when they're favored and theoretically speaking have the home field advantage. Like, if you win those games, it just means so much more than any regular season win or however many regular season wins there may be. Right, guys?
Yep, you're right.
Yep.
Shout out Baker Mayfield in the 2020 playoff game in Pittsburgh. Anyway, with that being said, there's our Week 16 preview. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We also didn't even talk about this, so we're going to do it at the end. Oops. Our busts and surprises from this past week. Now, for my busts last week, I had to do it. I went with the double doink, per se.
You went with 3.
You know what? Throw Jalen Waddle in here, but his was partially due to injury, so I didn't want to drag him like that. But the Coopers, it was a bad week to be a Cooper, and it just got even worse to be a Cooper yesterday because we've got Amari Cooper, 0, dud, no catches. Cooper Kupp on Thursday night last week, dud, 0, no catches. And Jerry just adopted a dog named Cooper yesterday, poor dog. Just a terrible week to be a Cooper, honestly. So what do you guys got for your No, I wouldn't want to be owned by Jared.
You will this week.
You kind of are in the playoffs.
Oh, I saw myself for that one. Jared's was way better than yours, Brett. Come on.
Well.
Anyway.
Is it me?
Yeah, sure. Either one of you.
Oh, sorry.
Me.
Yeah, so bust of the week, Brock Purdy, because he cooked Evans' entire season with a dud of a game, 3.98 fantasy points.
I'm surprised none of us did this, but dud of the week, we could have just put DLC 9101's roster.
You could have. The entire roster, 130.
Outside of Jefferson and Devonta Smith.
Yeah. Pretty brutal game. He was 14 of 31 for 142 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 interception, no touchdowns. Because there was not a touchdown in that game.
Yeah, what a miserable game. Devin and I watched the whole game too.
Devin had like a five leg touchdown parlay on that game too, and his slowly losing hope throughout the first half was very glorious to listen to. Brett, what do you got for last week?
So I got Jameis Winston. I mean, I would say that it wouldn't necessarily be a bust any other time if you just kind of threw his name out there, just because it's Winston. But comparing it to the last few weeks, and maybe I'm biased because he's been on my team and just dominating. This week felt like a pretty easy bust as far as a backup quarterback. 146 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a fumble.
Yeah.
So we had negative fantasy points this week.
3 interceptions, actually.
Oh, 3 interceptions.
He literally pulled a Will Levis. Both
Yeah,
of them got benched for it. So like
Levis had like negative 4 fantasy points. So, but yeah, any other time you wouldn't necessarily say Winston was busting at that. You'd kind of expect that, but
3 picks. That's just
now he's benched.
That's just Jameis on a random Friday. Jared, what do you got for your surprise? What do you have for us?
Yeah, my surprise of the week was Mike Evans, and this is mostly just like a little bit of saltiness. I had the ability to pick him up, or to trade for him, I should say, and I didn't. And I mean, there was even the Devontae Adams too. The fact that we're gonna talk about
Brett's roster a lot at the end of the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fact that team acquired Mike Evans and Devontae Adams for them to have that week this week in the season, first round of playoffs. I mean, that he's not in. So like literally, Clint should just sit there and brag about how you could have got your playoff winner for the first round.
if Clint would have
either
kept
one
him
of
on his roster, we may be talking about Clint making the run to the semifinals.
Well, he had Henry forever too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't know. Clint maybe busted the season, honestly, right there. But yeah, so that was my surprise of the week. He had 48.4 points, also on Brett's roster, like we said.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, 159 yards, just a good game.
Yeah,
It's-
and like we just talked about with Mike Evans being on my team, Devontae Adams on my team also had a hell of a
huge.
game.
He had a terrible
Um,
first start too.
Yeah, he really didn't do anything until after the Wilson touchdown.
Yeah.
Then he started actually being relevant, but
It's like, wait.
9 catches for 198 yards, not quite 200, 2 touchdowns, and about 57 fantasy points. I don't know. I hate Aaron Rodgers with a passion, but it looked like he felt, or at least got a rhythm going with Devontae toward the end of the game last week, and
About time.
maybe it's what we can expect next year with the Jets.
After they trade Garrett Wilson to the Texans.
Maybe.
That would be a dream for me. Dream come true, honestly. But yeah, so I just love the names that start with CO, apparently, because my surprise of the week, I'm a cokehead. It's Jalen Coker, Panthers wide receiver. We've talked about him a little bit before, I believe, earlier this year, but me and Clint were actually talking about him at church last week, before church started, about like Jalen Coker, and we were both kind of like, he's good, like he's getting some run, and then he just has a pop off game, so it feels kind of validating to just, you know, we were kind of casually talking about him, and he has a huge game, so probably a flash in the pan, probably nothing long term here, but it's at least something with the Panthers seemingly missing on every other receiver they've been taking recently, with Mingo and Leggett not looking great, but yeah. And he has Bryce Young at quarterback, so that's even more impressive that he did that with Bryce Young. Do you guys have anything else you want to add to anything before the end of this show tonight? Any final statements, Jared?
Hope the Steelers win the Super Bowl.
My closing statement is going to be, best of luck, Jared, and may the better team win. Hope you don't make any bad start to sit decisions.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you too. I mean, you too.
Good night, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, peace.
Bye.